So hear these words again. Though he, Jesus, existed in the form of God, did not regard equality with God as something to be grasped, but emptied himself. Assuming human likeness, he humbled himself and became obedient to the point of death, even death on the cross. Paul here is explaining to us that what happened is Jesus, who again we know comes from God, came and was a servant to others. So instead of being this person who walks around and says, I'm a man of God, you should all listen to what I have to say and bow to me, he was all about serving God and serving others. So instead of being up here, he was down here. And Paul says he humbled himself so much that he ends up suffering for what he's teaching, and he ends up dying. But that is not the end, because what happens is God raises him from the grave. So Paul goes on to say, therefore God exalted him even more highly and gave him the name that is above every name, so that at the name given to Jesus, every knee should bend, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord, to the glory of God the Father. So you see this downward and upward movement. And what Paul is getting at is he knows that his friends in this church are dealing with some persecution. He knows that they are countercultural to all that is around them, and he knows that it's not easy. He knows that they look to him, who is their guide, and he's actually imprisoned for their faith. So they're a little nervous, they're a little scared, but Paul says it's okay, because the one who's come to be among us is the one who's been raised from the grave, and every knee shall bow and confess that he is Lord. And you understand that when he says that Jesus is Lord, he's using the Hebrew word Yahweh, which we know is the same as God. So basically, in this passage, Paul lists what we learn to be as Christology. That is to point to the fact that Jesus is God with us. God came to us in Jesus. He lived our life. He died our death. He rose from the grave, and he sits in heaven and is there for us always.